It's amazing how good the Wellesley Income Fund for Vanguard has been since inception. It's amazing. Now, I don't know if it'll continue to do that well. I don't know, but it's incredible. So going back to my man Daniel Kuhlberg's 55e.co. Hold on, 55e.co bucket strategy website here. Well, not website, spreadsheets. I'm astounded how well this fund has done. So we get 100,000 bucks in. We're going to pull 5,000 a year out, and we're going to adjust it for inflation. So $100,000 is what our starting point is. 5,000 a year adjusted for inflation, and we're starting in 1971. Wellesley it started in 1970, but didn't have his first full calendar year until 1971. So that's what we're using here, and it's amazing to me actually. And so what we're doing is we're taking 5,000 out, 52.19, 53.87, 57.22. You can see we're going up until right here. In 1980, what I want to do 82, we're taking 12,000 out, man, 12,500. So we're taking, I don't know, one, two, 2.5 times what we started with just 10 years, about 10 years later. And we didn't run out of money until year 43 in 2013. And, we're dead by then. That's a 5% distribution amount. Adjusted for inflation, that's a Wellesley Income Fund. Oh, but inflation, here's inflation rates. Oh, so then we can start in 1973 if you want, because we have these down years, 1973. I can't stress this enough how good this fund has done. Our money lasted until 32 years. We ran out of money in 204. Look, we started with 5,300, 5,800, and literally we started with, we're taking 1,500 more a year out, or I say 1,500, that'd be 30% more a year out. Look, we had a couple of small down markets, but it's amazing to me. It's amazing how well this fund has done. So now let's skip the 80s. We'll go right to the 90s. Basically, a lot of people overlook the fact that the mid 70s till basically 1999 it was incredible time to be an investor. From 1975 on, it was incredible. So I'll show you right here. We'll start in 1975. If you were lucky enough to have retired in 1975, not only did you never run out of money, you left, let's see here, $2.2 million. You started with 100,000 bucks. You took 5% a year off. You left 2.2 million. It's incredible. So that's if you started in 1975, you're in a world of wonder. That's a fact. All right. So let's start us in 1990. I haven't run these numbers, so let's see. Because that's when, we had the 90s were good, but then the odds were bad. Again, same thing. We never run out of money. Now, what's up, Grumpy Stillskin? Some dog over there just puked this morning. You okay? He wants to go outside. Hang tight. Yeah, let's just take you with me. Take you with me while I let him, Pukey McGee here, go outside. Don't forget to paw the like button. Paw it. All right. There you go. What's up, Pukey? So did you paw it, huh? Did you paw the like button? Do it for Pablo. Do it for Pablo and Finnegan. So here we start in 1990. We're taking 5% a year out, adjusted for inflation, and we still have money in 2023. All right, so that's 33 years later. Now we only have 415,000. That's still quadruple what we started with. It's amazing to me. It's amazing how well this fund has done. There's just no other way around. And then if we actually look at the standard deviations, this is a Wellesley fund. Standard deviation of 8.8 with a rate of return going back to 1971, 9.55. During that time, we had inflation of 4.01, so we had a net of 5.54, which is just incredible. It's crazy. 98% probability of success. We took 4% a year out and adjusted with inflation. I'm doing 5% here, and we're just crushing, man. There's just no two ways around it. I mean, look at that. All right, so now let's see what happened. We start in 2000 just to start. Now it's not going to give us obviously 30 years, but let's start with the aughts. We haven't run out of money yet. We only have 151,000 left over right here. Total withdrawn. We've taken a 163. We have 151,000. But here we're 24 years in. We still have more than what we put in, and we haven't run out of money. Let's compare that to S&P 500, shall we? S&P 500. Let's go down here, and S&P 500 right there. So S&P 500, we ran out of money in year 17. All right, so no, I mean, you shouldn't have all your portfolio in the S&P 500. I'd just like to show you the extremes here. So if you start in the S&P 500 in 1971, the Wellesley, excuse me, Ran out of money year 35, so that's not bad. That survived. We survived. What if we started in 1973? That's 1873. What if we started in 1973? 1973, boink. And we ran out of money in year 19. All right, and then we can compare it to the Wellington Fund, right here, Wellington Fund, and we ran out of money year 21. All right, so just the Wellesley because they had the bond focus, but the bonds got smoked with inflation. Well, did it? I mean, let's just take a look. We'll go back to Wellesley, and we're going to show you what the, go back to 1971, performance has been net of inflation. You can see right here, inflation is 4.4, we're up 15. Inflation is 3.2, we're up 9. Inflation is 6.2, 11.0, we lost. So we got crushed there. Inflation is 9.1, we're up 17. Inflation is 5.8, we're up 23. Inflation is 6.5, we're up 4.3. Inflation is 7.8, we're up 3.6. So these years right here, these 4 years, 77 to right, yeah, 77 to 81, right there. Inflation was higher than our rate of return. All right, you see 13.5 versus 12, 11.4 for inflation, 6.2, 10.3, 8.7. But then the following years we made back like bandits. So, I mean, this is a long 5-year time, my friends. This is a long stretch of time where a lot of people from 77 to 81 said, I can't take it anymore, I'm getting out. This is, I think, Newsweek or Business Week wrote there, the death of equities right here. But I mean, I'm just telling you, man, look at that. We smoked the rate of inflation. Let's look at a government bond fund. This is what I talked about in the video I think I did yesterday on standard deviations. It's the Federated, let's see here, right there, U.S. government bond fund. This goes back to 1970 as well. So here's 70, here we go right here. So the bond fund from 77 right there to 81, same thing. Inflation, much higher than the bond fund. In fact, the bond lost money in 80 and 81. But then watch what happened in 82, 83, 84 as the interest rates start going down. The bond fund is up 41.9%, 11%, 12%, inflation 6.2, 3.2, 4.3. So at that stage, the bond fund just smoked the inflation rates. But it did take those 5-year time frame. It was tough. So you had to maintain your portfolio within those 5-year time frame from 77 to 81. But if you could and you stood in there, you're fine. Now, I can't guarantee in the future. I have no clue. In fact, what's the Fed going to, has the Fed even spoken today? Everyone's like, what do you think the Fed's going to, I mean, I don't know. Who cares? The Fed doesn't control the markets. I'm just sorry it doesn't. I was reading this article in Breitbart today, but the Fed raised, maybe I'll do another video. I was like, are you really attributing these events to the Fed interest rate policy? I was like, oh my goodness, everyone's saying, the Fed, Actually, what is the 30-year Treasury doing right now? The last I saw is under 4. So let's take a look here, shall we? There's some live streaming basically right here. Live streaming, because I don't know what it is. I'm sure it's still under 4. All right, so the 30-year Treasury is at 3.99. Yep, exactly. It's up 1%, 1% today. So the yield's up, which means the prices are down. The 10-year Treasury is still at 3.63. It's also up 1% today. That tells me that they think the Fed's not going to cut rates as much as initially anticipated. That's my prediction there. Anyway, so still, you're buying a 30-year bond, you're getting less than 4%. That's the interest rate you're getting for a 30-year bond. That doesn't show that people are worried that much about inflation destroying the purchasing power of your bonds. It's not there. Anyway, I'm not saying you should buy Wellesley. I don't know. You do what you ever got to do. But, I mean, my goodness, the numbers are the numbers, man. That's just a fact. That doesn't mean anything going forward. Any perspectives will say past, whatever they say, past is no guarantee of future, blah, blah, blah. But the issue here is you have enough stocks to deal with the rising threat of inflation and on top of that, a rising, increasing dividends and share price. And then you have enough fixed income to protect yourself against the downside. That's why the Wellesley just crushes. Just no other way around it. Can I guarantee it'll continue? No. I just want to be very clear. You should not buy the Wellesley. I do not own the Wellesley. If I did own it, you should definitely stay away from it. But just the fact I'm talking good about it means you should stay away. I love your thoughts, Pa, and we'll see you guys. God bless.